Hey there, Otaku. Ken Chan back with another episode of Go Mega Otaku Gamer Alpha. Today we're going to take a look at something a little bit more new. Really not that retro, kind of right now, actually. And before I go into this, I'm going to say that this is not a review of any particular machine. Okay, this is more of a look into into something a little bit more general. Okay, today we're going to have a little bit of a look at mobile gaming with a tablet. And the tablet that I'm going to be using is an Acer A500. This is the actually I think this is the first model that Acer made of the A500. This one's a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, but it is nonetheless ample. I'll just touch briefly on the general specs of this tablet. It's a dual-core Tegra 2 chipset in this tablet. Okay, this Acer A500, and we have here on the back here we have a camera with a flash. The battery goes in there. It's made by Acer. This is a like a proprietary cable attachment here to plug it into your computer to put things on and off, put things on it. On this side we have a power switch here, and here is a earphone jack, mini HDMI. This is capable of a 720p output. Okay, not the newest thing by any stretch of the imagination. This switch here, this rocker switch, controls the volume. This little thing that you switch back and forth, this really little switch right here, controls the screen. If you tilt the screen, it won't tilt if you have this engaged. In this slot here, let's see if I can open this. This opens up, and there's a space there for micro SD. You can put 32 gig in there to give yourself a little bit more beef. This particular model does not save apps to the SD card. Okay, this right here is the power. That's where you charge it, plug it in. Here we have a micro USB and a standard USB, both on here. So, and of course the front is the touch screen. This is a 10.1 inch touch screen, and as I said, it's not indicative. It doesn't represent all tablets. There are tablets now that have more beef than this machine, to be certain, but it still does pretty well. I still use it quite heavily, and I have some peripherals here that I brought along to show. This is a third-party PS3 controller that plugs right into the USB on the tablet, and wham, you have yourself a controller. This is a HDMI out cable, and I have an extender here, a coupler, so I can plug this in to any HD television and get a 720p output. And this is just a stand. I have a case for it also that folds backward into a stand. I don't have that out. I don't see any purpose in really demonstrating that. This is not a review of this tablet, okay? That is not what I'm intending to do here. I'm not intending on, talking about the A500. This is just a general look, a real skim the surface kind of general look at gaming on tablets. So let's look at some gaming on this tablet. And we'll start. What we're going to do is put this on the stand here. Okay, so anyway, here we are. This is my gaming page here. This is my, here's the start page, the home page, and go to the gaming page. And I have these games on here. I have like Dead Trigger, Shadowgun, Dead Zone, Cyclone 2000, Earth and Legend, Hero of Sparta, Monster Blade, which is like a dumbed down Monster Hunter. Earth and Legend is like a really dumbed down, like Skyrim kind of experience, sort of. Sonic Dash, No Gravity, Kung Fu Do Fighting. I have the Xbox Smart Glass on here for 360, Tegra Game Zone. This is a Tegra 2 chipset, dual core. There are tablets that are beefier than this out there. Riptide GP, NFS, Need for Speed Shift, SpeedX 3D, Velux 3D Free, Let's Golf, Angry Birds, of course, Space, Angry Birds Space, Angry Birds Star Wars. Okay. So, without any further adu, we'll throw in a little bit of Angry Birds Space while I explain a few things. For several years, they've been saying that this kind of thing is going to take over the video game market. And, the future of gaming is in mobile. It's in things like this, and they've been saying that this kind of, tablets like this, the graphics on the more heavy duty games, the more hardcore games that are built to rival or to compete with console games are going to get better and better, and they're going to be able to rival consoles. That hasn't happened yet. I still feel that at some point, though, it will. It's just going to take a little bit longer than what they thought. Okay. And I do believe that mobile is the future of gaming. I just think it's going to take longer than what they originally they made it sound like, because the growth was so fast early on. They made it sound like in a couple of years this is going to crush everything. Now, console gaming definitely has dwindled. It has shrunk. It's much smaller than what it was. 2009, I think, is when it peaked. If you look it up, you'll find out this information. It's smaller now. This kind of thing is not, by any stretch of the imagination, taking over quite yet. I think that it will, though. So here they have, new consoles, while meanwhile this mobile thing is going on. Everybody's familiar with Angry Birds here. Whoa, he went right through there. I did that way wrong. I let go early. Come on, get him. Alright. And that is the end of that. And then this kind of thing's a lot of fun. All of these games, of course, are playable on the tablet itself. You can do everything from touch screen. Some games, not all, will utilize a stick. You have to kind of do your research to find out which games work with, a controller like that, and which just will not work with any kind of controller at all. So that being said, we know what this looks like on a screen like this. It's going to be whatever this is. So now we're going to plug it into our TV so we can get a bigger view of everything. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a quick little demonstration here to show you kind of how this works. I'm going to come out of here altogether. And you see that what I'm doing here is the same as what's going on here. So if I change my pages like this, okay, as I change them here, they're changing up here. And anything I do on this tablet, I have the volume turned down, of course, and everyone knows why, but anything I do on the one will happen on the other. The two, this is plugged in to the TV with the HDMI right here, as you see. Okay, so that being said, we're now going to go ahead and connect one more thing. And then we're going to look at this. We're going to connect the joypad. Okay, so now you'll see that I have over there my joypad plugged in, and then over here is the HDMI, and it's going in there, and now all I got to do is this. You see it's highlighting what's on there. Can even switch the page if I want to. Once I get to the top, it'll do that. You know, you just have to get all the way to the top before it'll do it. Okay, so anyhow, let's take a look at some of the gaming action then. Okay, first we're going to look at a little shadow gun here. Having some problems with the dead trigger. So I'm going to hit spawn. And then I'm going to show up here. And there's 402. This is an online Fragfest kind of game based on the Shadow Gun original game that I told you I had already finished. Oh, there's a grenade. Look out, look out, look out. And I'm fragging. Oh, I got killed. So, and this is one of those ones you have to kind of go to your touch screen to spawn. But then once you got that, you can use, I'm using the stick solely, you know, the controller for everything. This guy has a pumpkin on his head. Oh, he knocked me down. Yeah, he killed me. And this has 3 different tiers. You can log in with your Facebook credentials. You can create an account that lets you play it, I guess, wherever. And then you have like a free game where it's just like you just jump in using whatever credentials you have on this machine. Ooh, I got that guy off guard and he's gone, buddy. And this handles quite well, and I'm surrounded by dudes, and I got knocked down. Some of these guys, you can tell who's using phones and who's not. The ones with the clumsiest control are the ones using the phones. Like this guy in front of me, it's like he doesn't even know I'm there almost. But I have an advantage over a lot of these people in that I'm using a controller. Among all else. Above all else. Okay, I don't think there's anybody else in this part of the room. I forget which is my run button. There's a button that makes you run. That makes you tumble. Oh. There we go. Here comes dude. Ooh, kicked him. Ooh, shot him in the back. He just won't go down. There, I killed him. Oh, I got wasted. Two seconds left. Actually, 1 minute and 30. And I'm going to spawn right about here. And this game is available on phones. Whoa! It's available on, I believe you can get this on the Ouya. If not, I know you can get the regular Shadow Gun on the Ouya. And as far as console-looking games on tablets, on mobile, Shadow Gun is one of the ones that really delivers that. They need more. In my opinion, they need more. Yeah, there's the sprint. Let's see whether... Nailed him. See these two guys, they don't even see me. Oh! Somebody saw me chasing him and took me down from behind. I got 4th place though, and it's an online game. And you know, you have however many people playing it online and blah 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 blah. But I really like Shadow Gun. It's pretty cool. Let's look at something else here. Oh, Okay, so this is called Cyclone 2000. Atari Jaguar fans, I think you'll realize right away what this is. Oh! Yep, you guessed it. It's basically Tempest 2000. Particle laser. This is the control on this. I'm going to say this with all honesty. The control on this is not as nearly as good as the control on the Jaguar version. Oh. So yeah, you see what this is. But I am using the controller. I could use the screen. You know, whatever the option is for that, but instead I am just using this controller. And this controller is adequate, like I said. It's not so horrible that you can't take it. It's doable. There's my jump. And then we warp on to the next thing. So, there you go, Atari Jaguar fans. It's called Cyclone 2000. So you can look for it. It's on the Google Play Store. Now, you've probably noticed that I haven't mentioned anything about iPad. iPad, when I say tablets, I'm kind of including the iPad. The experiences that you get on the iPad are similar. Close enough. It's not like it's like, you know, that different that it's really going to make that big of a difference. I believe most of this stuff you can find on both systems. I don't know about the Shadow Gun. I know they have one for both called Nova, which, you know, looks very similar to Halo. But you can't control that one with a controller. You have to use the screen, and that control scheme is really bad. I've tried it. I don't like it. It's no good, in my opinion. I'm not sure I understand it. But here it is. It's definitely Tempest, even though they call it Cyclone. And it's definitely not just Tempest, it's Tempest 2000 that was on the Atari Jaguar that they totally ripped off right here. Okay, I got this one working now. It's dead trigger. I just had to reconfigure some of these with the gamepad. They don't automatically, you know, configure to it. I had to configure a few things. But we're jamming now, and I'm laying waste to zombies, and that's what this game is. It's one of those zombie games, and I'm totally using the controller for this, which makes it way more interesting. Ooh. Messy. And the object of this game, of course, is to survive wave after wave of zombies. I've said before that the zombie thing is done to death. And God, I'm so tired of it. Oh my God, it's so horrible. is a Winchester. Oh, that's a shotgun. I took that guy's leg right off. Meaty! Okay, get more rounds this way. I got $26. Ooh, took his head right off. Cool. And this is one of those games that as you go through the game, parts of it open up and whatnot. How do I jump over this? Anyway, the object of the game is to give you the idea here. Oh, look, he's got bullets and I can't. There's a way to jump, I think, but I just don't know what it is. Anyhow, I think you get the idea. Aside from the angry birds that I showed you in the first place, this you actually have to use the touch screen. When they grab hold of you like that, you have to use the touch screen to get them off. Unless I'm doing something wrong, which I probably could be. But you get the idea from this. If you look at this, you'll notice something. This isn't half bad. With a little bit more, as they get better with these mobile processors, you're gonna see better games, you know, coming to devices like this that are gonna rival consoles. Now, it hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. It's one of those things where it's right around the corner and it's always gonna be. But I'm thinking at some point they will catch up, because I think that at some point home console processors are just going to become moot. And I think that's already happening, seeing as how the current consoles, the PS4, the Xbox One and whatnot, they're already starting out behind high-end PCs, which they never did before. And I think down the road, that gap is going to get bigger and bigger to where it doesn't matter anymore. Home consoles have to be cheap. And that's just all there is to it. In order to stay cheap, what do they have to be? What do they have to do? Well, they have to have, cheap parts. The cheapest parts. You really don't want to sell a console for more than $400. Anytime you do, you end up with sales like the PS3 had, or if you look at the way the Xbox One is doing right now, it's not doing so well. The Wii U is cheap, but it's really doing poorly because it doesn't have any games. They promised that system was supposed to be, a next-gen console, and it just doesn't deliver the kind of graphics that people are looking for in consoles. People that played the Wii, this is the kind of route they're going to now with the mobile, because mobile has the casual, cut-the-rope, real easy kind of games. That do it with the motion sensor and all that kind of crap. So, anyway, you get the idea. That's Dead Trigger. So, at the end of the day, what do you have? Well, you have an up-and-coming market that's going to get bigger. You have another market that's going to shrink. But the home consoles aren't down and out or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're always going to be around. But I just think that mobile play is probably going to be the new big thing. It's going to be the thing that in the long run, ends up, taking a huge bite out of, the gaming market. I think it already has. There's a lot of people already doing it. I think it's only going to get bigger. But you decide, and the market will decide, and which means basically that you'll decide whichever you like better. I think there are more people probably, at the table of the mobile market than there are at the hardcore gaming kind of market. In fact, I almost guarantee that. How many people have some kind of mobile phone? Now, how many people have some kind of game console? You'll probably find that there are more people with phones than there are people with consoles. If you add up all the mobile phones that got sold last year versus all the home consoles, all three of the big guys, that got sold last year, I think you'll find that they sold way more phones. So you see that even at $1 a piece or even free, where they get advertising in there to pay for it, you see where the real money is. So anyway, that's a little look into the mobile gaming market and what it's all about. We're going to come back to this topic again. Don't worry, it's going to resurface. This is only the first part. And there it is. So, we'll see you next time.